Hey all, I believe you watched the part 1 of Day-6 video and this is the part 2. So we are going to see hands-on coding on how operators work when it comes to Python. To start with, we have arithmetic operators. This is generally used for basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. In addition to which, we do have floor division, modulus and exponents. Here, whenever I want to add any two values of a variable, so here I assigned the value of A as 10 and for B I assigned the value of 3. So in such scenario, doing addition, subtraction, multiplication and division is something that we do in common words. But if I want to find the value of division, if I am dividing 10 by 3, the output would be definitely 3.333. So after decimal, it has so many values. So my output is messy. In such scenario, what I am trying to do here is I don't want any values after decimals. So for that purpose, what I'll be doing is I'll be using floor division and this is the symbol of floor division. Using this, I can remove the decimal values that I got as an output for division. So this is how my output would look like when it comes to floor division. Next, we have modulus. Modulus is generally an operator which looks like a percentage symbol. But it doesn't mean it is a percentage operator. It says that I'm dividing two values. And after dividing those two values, I'll be getting remainder, right? And that is the output of my modulo operator. Generally, it is used in some scenarios like if I want to find if a particular number is odd or an even number. In that case, I'll be using this modulo operator. For that scenario, if I use this operator of modulo, what will happen is if I assign the value to A and I'm using this modulo operator and I'm giving 2, which is equal to 0, which means I'm checking if that value is divided by 2 or not. If that value got divided by 2 and if I got the remainder as 0, it says that number is an even number. If not, that is an odd number. So in such kind of problems, we'll be using this modulo operator. Next to which we have exponent operator. This is specifically used for finding a square number or square value of a particular number. In Python, if I want to find a square value of a number, we already have this particular operator in our laptop keys. But Python can understand how this works. Instead, what you have to do is you just need to use two star symbols, which says that I'm going to find a power of a particular value, a to the power of b. So if I have value of a as 10 and b as 3, 10 to the power 3, which means 10 cube. So what is the output of 10 cube? We have as 1000. And here the value of modulo is 1 because we are dividing 10 by 3 and the remainder is 1. That is why we got the output as 1. I believe you are clear with these concepts like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Next to which we have comparison operators. This is really a simple kind of operators which we have studied in our high schools. We generally have greater than, lesser than and equal to operator. So the first type is checking if both the values are equal. For that we'll be using this particular equality operator. So here for x and y I assigned values as 10 and 20. If I use this operator to check if both values are equal, they are not equal, my output would be Boolean values. Whenever I get an output of a particular problem as true or false, in Python we specifically call them as Boolean values. So here we are getting output as false or true, so we are calling them as Boolean values. So for comparison operators, we'll get output specifically as Boolean values most of the time. So here first for equality check, we checked if 10 and 20 are equal and if they are not equal, we got false. Next, which we have not equal to operator. This operator is used to check if both values are not equal. As 10 and 20 are not equal, so the condition says the not equal to operator is working in a way it will check if both the values are not equal, right? As 10 and 20 are not equal, the output would be true. If both the values are equal, the not equal to operator will throw an output of false because the values are equal, but the work of a not equal to operator is to check if both the values are not equal. Next to which we have greater than operator. We know how greater than and lesser than operator actually works since our high schools. So here 10 is lesser than 20, which says the greater than option is opposite. So we have false as our output. Next to which we have x lesser than y. As x value is already lesser than y's value, the output is true. And here I gave a simple example how these operators work in our real life. You need not understand how if conditional statements work and all, because in the future videos I'll be explaining you conditional statements very clearly from scratch. So here for the first time, I'm assigning value of accuracy as 0.92. Next to which I'm using if conditional statement. I'm calling the value of accuracy and checking out if the value that assigned to accuracy is greater than equal to 9, greater than or equal to 9, 0.9. So as the value of 0.92 is greater than 0.9, it says my condition is satisfied. If that condition is satisfied, next to if condition, what I've given as printing statement or written statement will be printed. Here I have given a printed statement of model performance is great. So the output is model performance is great. Next we have logical operators. This is very simple. Here we just have three operators. Just remember this concept and works in a way if only both the logics are satisfied, both the conditions are satisfied, then the output would be true. If any one of the condition is not satisfied, then the output would be false. But when it comes to OR, even if one condition is satisfied, the output would be true. If both the conditions are also satisfied, the output would be true. In not operator works in a way, it will just work against the operation that I gave. If I assign any value as true, it will change the value to false. Let's see an example to understand this operator clearly. First, I'm assigning value of two variables, age and income. The values of age is 28 and for income I assigned value of 60,000. I'm using if condition statement. If a person's age is greater than 25 and I'm using AND operator here. Here AND is an operator. So next to AND operator, I am giving another condition of that person's income is greater than 50,000. So based on the values that I assigned to both values, the both condition that I gave next to if condition got satisfied. So AND operator will give the output as true only if both the condition satisfies, and here both the condition are satisfied. So the next printing statement will get printed, eligible for premium data group. Next, we are trying to understand how NOT operator works. So these two are variables. Has data is a variable to which I assign the value as true, and has null is a variable and to which I assign the value as false. So for these two variables, I have two different values. Next to which I am using a conditional statement. Okay. Inside if condition, I am calling the variable has data, inside which I store the value as true. And I'm using AND operator. And I'm also using NOT operator for the particular value has null. Inside has null, what I stored? False. So if I'm using NOT in front of has null, the value of has null will be reversed. As the value is false, it will get changed to true. So now true and true. As those conditions are satisfied, the output would be printed. Whatever I gave in printing statement would be printed as output. So this is how logical operators work. So the thing that you need to remember when it comes to logical operators is if both the values are only satisfied, only then AND operator will give an output of 1 or else it will give, the output as true or else you will see an output of false. In OR operator, even if one condition is satisfied, even if both conditions are satisfied, then the output would be true or else false. Only if both conditions are not satisfied, then the output would be false or else it would be true. When NOT operator works in a way, it will just reverse the condition. And next, we have assignment operators. It is specifically used for reducing the number of lines of coding when it comes to Python. So here, for x variable, I assigned a value of 5. So if I want to add any values to this particular number 5, what I have to do is I have to give x equal to x plus 2 in a traditional coding way. But in Python, we have assignment operators to make this process simple and reduce the number of lines of coding. So what I'll be doing here is I'll give x plus equal to 2, which is equal to x plus 2. So both are same here. So if I print the output of this, both the values will get added and I'll see the output is 7 with the printing statement I gave here. X after plus equal to 2. After using this assignment operator, I'm seeing the changes that happened. Next, you need not get confused by seeing these terms like LR and all. It is just a variable name. So for LR, I have a value as 0.1 and I'm just trying to multiply the value 0.95. In a traditional way, this is how we'll be multiplying. But by using assignment operator, you can just use dot and you can use equal to 0.95, which is equal to LR equal to LR into 0.95, which means 0.1 into 0.95 and the output is 0.095 with the printing statement I gave here. And finally, I'm storing the variable next to a printing statement. So the final value after applying these operations is being printed here. Next, bitwise operators. While I was teaching with that board, I mentioned that bitwise operators, you just need to remember zeros and ones is something that you'll be having inside, right? So we are going to clearly see how bitwise operators work in Python. It's really very easy to understand. So this is how a binary, decimal to binary conversion table will look like inside Python coding, and you just need to see and understand how it works inside. So you'll have a clarity while doing coding and all. So for every decimal value, it has its own binary value. For the first 10 numbers alone, I have given here with the binary values. For 0, we have 0, 0, 0. So likewise, we have for 0 to 10. And we are going to understand how these bitwise operators work. We have 5 different bitwise operators in Python. First one is bitwise AND, the second type is bitwise OR, third type is bitwise XOR, the fourth type is left shift and fifth type is right shift. So first, I am taking two variables and for the first variable I have the value as 5 and for the second variable I have the value of 3. So for these values, decimal values, I'm just checking out what are the binary values. So these are something that you need not do anything manually. Python is going to do it inside. But we are just trying to understand how bitwise operator works inside when it comes to coding. So bitwise operators in real life, it would be applied when it comes to cryptography or in cyber security. When I want to keep the data confidential, I would just convert that into binary format. So I could keep it secure. So for 5, we have a binary value as, see, check with the binary value for 5. It is 0.101. So this is the value and for 3, it is 0011. So AND operator, we have seen how the logical operators work, right? In there we have already seen AND and OR. So when I use AND, only if both the values are 1, the final result would be 1. If not, it would be 0. So here the last digits are 1 in the first variable's value and in second variable's value the last digit is 1. Other than that we have ones only once. So only for the last two digits I'll be having 1. For the remaining ones, if 0 and 1, only 1 we have and the other value is 0. And for the second place, here we have 1 0 and 1 1. But at the last position alone, we have ones twice, right? So it says I just need to go and check with the binary value of these 0001. It is 1 and that is the output of this particular bitwise AND operation. And next we have bitwise OR. So bitwise OR works in a way only if both the values are 0, the output would be 0. Or else even if one value is 1, the output would be 1. So for this scenario, the last two values are 1. So the last digit is 1. And for the third position, 1, 0, 1, 1. So here the output is 1. And for the second position, 1, 1 and 1, 0. So here we have 1. And for the first question, both are 0. So that we have 0. So let's check with the binary value of 0, 111. So the output is going to be 0. 7. Right. I believe you clearly understood how binary AND, bitwise AND and bitwise OR works. Now let's try to understand how bitwise XOR works. It is seriously very simple one. If both are 1 and if both are 0, then the output would be 0. If not, if one is 1 and one is 0. If one is 0 and one is 1, the output would be 1. So for here, for last and first place, we have both the numbers are similar. So for first and last place, the output would be 0. For the center part, it would be 1, 1. So let's check where we have 0, 1, 1, 0. For 6, we have 0, 1, 1, 0. So let's check. Yeah, that is the output. And left shift and right shift might sound confusing. But if you clearly listen now, it would be easy for you to understand. So left shift works in a way. If I am taking one particular value of a variable, for 5, I have my binary value as 0101. What I'll be doing is from last, I'll be moving forward. And for the last value where I do not have any digit, I'll be replacing that with 0. So in this example, let's check how it works. So first, for the last digit is 1, right? Let's consider this is the third position. Okay. So I'm assigning 1 here. And this third digit will move to the second place. And the second place get filled with 0. And second digit moves to the first position. So what is the second digit? It's 1. And the last position where we have empty space will get filled with 0. This is how the left shift operator in Python works. So for 1010, what is our decimal value? It is 10. So the left shift output value here for 5 is 10. And for right shift, it works in an opposite way. We'll move the digits towards right side, and for the remaining place we have on the left side corner, we'll fill that with 0. So here, let's consider the third digit is moved to the fourth place, and the second digit is getting moved to the third place, and the first digit we are moving that to second place. And for the first question, we have an empty space where we could fill that with 0. So let's check with the binary value of 10. And the binary value is 2. So here the output we got as 2. I hope you clearly understood how bitwise operators in Python works. And if you have any doubts, without hesitation, you can drop them on comments and every comments will get proper answers. Next to which we have membership operator and identity operators in Python. These two operators are something you could compare and understand, so you'll never forget forever. Yeah. So membership operators is something we'll check if that particular component or particular value is in a list of values. While teaching that through board, I explain if I want to check if a particular girl Tejo is inside a class, I'll be using membership operator. I'm just checking out if a particular girl is there in a group of girls or a group of class students. So in a list of values, if I want to check a particular value is there or not, I'll be using membership operators. If I want to check that exact value is something that I was looking for, then I'll be using identity operator. If I'm calling the same girl out of the class and I'm having her standing next to me and I'm asking if she is Teju, then that is how identity operator works. If I'm searching for a girl inside a class called Teju, then that is how membership operator works. And you will understand them clearly through this example. So inside a variable name called fruits, we have list of values apple, banana, cherry. Next to which I am adding a printing statement, and then here I am trying to use my membership operator call in by calling that particular value orange, and I'm checking out if there is that is present in fruits, but that orange is not there in fruits. So the output would be false because I've given here the printing statement as orange in fruits, because this is something that I could customize based on what I'm giving as input. So I'm checking out if this particular value orange is there in these list of fruits, and if that value orange is there, the output would be true. As that particular value orange is not there, the output is false. Let's check out if I use the value as apple, which is already there. And here also printing statement could be changed as per my need. So the output would be true. So yeah, it is taking some time to run. Yeah. So the output is true. If I had orange here, the output would be false. As I placed banana here, and I'm just using not in operator. So this is straight opposite to in operator. It will check if that particular value is not there in list of values, and if it is not there, it will be printing it as true. If it is there, it will be printed as false. So I'm checking out if banana is there, and banana is already there, and I'm checking out if it is not there. So it is opposite to present. So the output is false. So if I'm checking for some fruits that is not there, like I'm searching for orange here, I'm changing printing statement as well. So the output now will become true. How? Because this value is not there and it is satisfying the condition not in, right? So that is how membership operator in Python works. Next to that, we have identity operators. So this is very easy to understand after understanding how membership operator works. But here, identity operator works in a way it's not just about the values. It's also about understanding how the object in it works. And also it's about where it is present, and it is also about a particular which place it got stored. In Python, each and values that are assigned to a variable will get its specific location. Like whenever I add a text in a notebook, we'll write in every different pages, right? Similar to that, Python will assign values in a particular page inside its memory. So in that scenario, what I'm doing here is, let's try not to give c equal to a. First, I'm assigning value of a equal to 1, 2, 3, a set of values. And for b, I'm storing the same value. And for c, I'm storing the same value 1, 2, 3. But here, what you have to clearly observe is, inside b, I'm storing a, which says the location of a and b are same. But inside c, I'm storing the same values, but the location is different. So, it is not identical when it comes to Python. So this is the operator we'll be using for identity when it comes to Python, identity check. Here I'm using printing statement A is B to check if A and B are identical. And I'm using A is C, which is checking A and C are identical. Next I'm trying to check B and A if both are identical. And finally I'm trying to print all these values to check out if all the values look same. So for this, the output is true, false, true. Why I get this way is because how I explained in the starting. It's because the value of A, B and C are same. But where it got stored, A and B got stored in the same location because I assigned the value of B as A, but C has values in a different location and it is called as different objects. So that is why A and C is not identical. And if I want to make it identical, I can simply assign the A's value as C. And now if I try to print this, instead of false, what I got here, I'll be getting true. Now the location got same. And you should see something that got changed here. So now in A is B also we got false, and in B is A we got false. Why? Because the value of A got stored into C. The value of B got changed now, because now we have C's value into A and B's value is not into A. So if I want to rechange it, what I have to do is I just need to delete the variable, and now the value of A is C will return back to false again. Yeah, this is how this identity operators work. It's quite confusing at the initial phase, and when you try out with various examples, it will get easier and interesting to understand. Next, we have ternary operator, which is very simple to understand. If is a conditional statement. We'll be seeing about how conditional statements work in future videos very clearly. I'll be teaching that with various examples too. So, if condition is generally used for checking out if that condition is being matched and if that condition is satisfied, under which I'll be giving any printing statement to print. And if that condition is not satisfied, I'll be giving another option called else. And inside else, I'll not be giving any conditions. Only if the condition of if is not satisfied, under else, I'll be giving some printing statement which will just get printed. So here, for sentiment, I'm assigning a value as positive. So for a variable, I assigned a value as a string, positive. And here I'm using if condition, label equal to 1, if sentiment equal to positive, else 0. So this conditional statement will check if the value of sentiment is positive. If the value of sentiment is positive, using if condition, the value of label will get stored as 1. And if the value is not same as 1, I mean the value is not same as what you stored inside sentiment, then the output would be 0. That is how ternary operators work here. So it is simply a single line if else condition. As the value of sentiment is positive and the condition that I gave inside if statement is satisfied, what I gave as a condition for if is satisfied. So the printing statement, I mean the next follow-up I gave is label equal to 1. Now I am giving printing statement as print of label as a printing statement, next to which I am calling this label's value. So label's value is 1. The output would be like label, and the value of label will get printed. I believe you understood how ternary operator works. And if you have any doubts, without hesitation, drop them in comments. And finally, we have Walrus operators. So it is so simple and easy to understand, but some people as a beginner, they will get so many confusions when it comes to Walrus operator. They misunderstand sometimes. It is such an easy thing compared to other operators. Now observe clearly. First, I'm assigning a list of values to a particular variable. Okay. So inside that we have 5 different values, 1 to 5. Next, I'm using if conditional statement, and this is the Walrus operator, which is used for specifically reducing the number of lines of code. So inside a variable n, I'm assigning this function if length of this particular variable data. Total number of values we have here is 5. So if that length 5 is greater than 3, you should print we are going to print this printing statement, and F is used here for initiating that printing statement with this particular word. And here I'm calling the value of n. Inside n, what I stored, the length of data should be printed if it is greater than 3. As the total list of values count is 5, which is greater than 3, the value 5 would be replaced here by n. So the final output would be data has, and the value of n is 5 here. So data has 5 elements. And this symbol is Walrus operator. And this is the symbol of Walrus operator. Yeah, this is the overview and a summary table which you could take screenshot if you want. So for revision purposes, when it comes to interviews, you could use them. I hope this video helped you in understanding how operators work in Python. Bye for now, and we'll meet you in next video.